As Prime Minister Philip Davis hopes to intervene in this matter, the opposition leader and Grand Bahama MP Michael Pintard weighing in on what he calls a complex issue. Our Leah Cooper joining me live in studio with more on this. Leah?
Well, Janaea, Pintard says it's the worst possible time in the midst of a hurricane season for a major group of companies to give such a short notice of their intention to close. He adds that this was signaled at least a month ago with a round of layoffs due to difficulties experienced between Devco and Gold Rock. These comments come at a press conference this afternoon at the Free National Movement's headquarters. Pintard adds that over the past several days, he's reached out to President of the Grand Bahama Port Authority, Ian Roll, and other stakeholders. Pintard says he also reached out to Prime Minister Philip Davis, who says he was not made aware of the relevant details.
We felt it was most inappropriate for the leadership on Grand Bahama not to alert the Prime Minister that there was something brewing in Grand Bahama that would have a negative impact on residents in Grand Bahama. The company employs approximately 130 persons. So we're talking about quite a few families that will be impacted. That is aside from those persons who have already been laid off.
Now, the Grand Bahama Port Authority did fire back at the Zotto family, charging that they pulled their investment in Freeport out of spite. In a statement earlier this week, the Port Authority labeled the family's claims of witnessing blatant disregard for the growth of the island as false, salacious, and purposefully sensationalized. To that, Pintard urges all parties to tamp down on making these kinds of statements.
He then got in contact with the company, and this Tuesday, they were supposed to have addressed this particular issue. Obviously, the conversation is not helpful to them sitting down and coming up with a reasonable resolution to this issue. It is clear that from the group of companies, government intervention is what is required. And I understand regrets have been expressed that no one reached out to them during this particular situation.
He also outlines the impact this group of companies' closure will have on Grand Bahama.
A number of families, more than 100 families, are likely to have the breadwinner or a contributor to the finances of that family without a job. Secondly, there are other companies in Grand Bahama that rely on this group of companies, and they too would be affected. There are a number of very serious developments on the island that have started and others that are about to start that rely on the products and services of this group of companies. Those are likely to be affected, especially since, as you are aware, there are already disruptions in the supply chain in the global market, and the Bahamas has been affected. We will be affected even more.
He adds that Grand Bahama's economy has the potential to rebound, but this closure sends the wrong message.
Many residents and businesses are still trying to repair their homes and facilities. And while some companies on the island can provide some of the hardware and construction supplies needed, there are items, particularly in the concrete space, that they would not be able to provide.
That said, Pintard says the opposition's urging the government to move with a sense of urgency to have a face-to-face communication with the owners of the group of companies, and asks that all sides be reasonable if they have genuine concern for the families that will be affected in Grand Bahama. Reporting live in studio, I'm Leah Cooper. Back to you, Janaea.